Welcome back to Home Sweet Home Cooking. I am Rocky, your host. Where am I at? My mother's kitchen. My mom is behind me on potato duty. Today we're doing number one on the Southern Essentials list, which is fried chicken. Southern fried chicken. Now I looked up a couple different ways. Well, I looked up fried chicken and popped up several different ways to make fried chicken. So I'm looking at the three most common themes. So I'll be doing three versions. The first version is going to be an egg wash and a floured dusting on it, or coating on it, and deep fried in oil. So, seasoned, of course. So we're going to start with the chicken. I prefer starting with a whole chicken. If you want to buy chicken that's already cut up, that's fine. If you just want to buy thighs and legs and quarters, that's fine too. But I'm going to start with the whole chicken. My hands are clean. I just took this out of the thing and washed it. You got a neck in here. You won't be needing that. You've got a heart, delicious. Chicken livers, battered up and fried, delicious. And gizzard, battered and fried, delicious. The neck would be good in gravies or dressing or stuffing, something like that. And to start with your chicken, what I'm going to do is a little more juice out there. I'm going to flip it over, start from the back. I'm going to start with a kitchen shears. Got to use a good quality one. I don't know how good these are.
Not very.
Not very, she says. You're just going to come up the side of the backbone on both sides. You got to try to find that joint between the thigh and the backbone to get past that. Once you get past that, you're just going to cut through the ribs, and the backbone is out. Save this. Freeze it. When you get a bunch of these scraps left over, this is good for chicken stock, making chicken soups. Use that to boil in to make your broth. Alright, so on to the next step is, might as well start with the thighs. I'm going to flip the bird back right side up. And right here, just follow down where the fold of the skin is. You cut down into that. And the thigh is going to pull away because you already cut off the backbone. And you just continue to cut that off. And there you have it. There's your thigh. Now, to separate your thigh from your drumstick, I'm going to cut off some of this extra crud. This was a fairly poorly cleaned chicken from the butcher. You're going to find the crease. Just find it in here. You'll see where the meat kind of rounds out. And if you just cut through, you'll get right through that knuckle. So now I've got a thigh and a drumstick. And you do that to the other side as well. The white meat. You can lay the bird upside down. And right here in the center of the breast, you're going to find a notch. I'm going to take a good knife and just cut into that notch. It'll split open. And then you can just peel the breast back, put a knife in there, follow down inside the keel bone, and cut. There's one. And this side, if you want to, you can do the same thing. You can pull back on that keel bone and take this keel bone completely out of the breast. So this one here, same thing. I'm going to follow up these rib bones. Take the rib bones out. And that's going to help me find that joint for the wing. Got one last piece of rib cage in there. This one wants to be difficult. My mom was right. These are not the greatest kitchen shears. 2, basically boneless skin-on breasts, thighs, drumsticks, and wings. and a couple tenders. And that's how you dissect a chicken. I'm gonna get cleaned up and get this set up for the breading station, get the oil hot, and we'll be back and start cooking some chicken. Hands are clean, surface is clean, time to make the breading. Got some flour here, I'm using all purpose. To that I'm gonna add, for a little extra crunch, some cornstarch. That's gonna make things a little extra crispy. Gonna add some white pepper. Now you can use whatever seasonings you want, but if you remember the old school KFC, it was very peppery. It's not very peppery anymore. They changed the recipe and I don't like it. So they had white pepper and black pepper in theirs. So I'm going plenty of pepper. And I would suggest using some type of savory in here as well. Instead of mixing the larger rubbed or the crushed sage and thyme and all that, I'm just going to use a poultry seasoning that's already ground kind of fine. And some garlic powder and some onion powder. And this is going to be the taste. It looks like I'm adding a lot, but there's a lot of flour in there. And we'll give this a little mix. And you want to taste your breading, your seasoning before you start frying, before you start dipping your chicken. You want to make sure you've got enough. Oh, Mom, can you grab me some salt, please? Almost forgot salt. Need salt. Thank you, dear. Okay. Now give it a stir. I guess you can use onion salt and onion powder if you didn't want to add, or onion salt and garlic salt if you didn't want to add salt itself. But if you're adding salt, don't use that. You got to use onion powder and garlic powder. So give it a little taste. Barely taste it. I'm going to add a little more of my seasonings. Definitely need a little more salt. Now you don't want to have overpowering flavor in the seasoning. You definitely want to be able to taste it, because we're not brining this one. This is showing the egg wash version of it. So when I say there's three different kinds, there's an egg wash where you're using the egg wash to make your glue to stick the breading on. Use a buttermilk marinated one where the buttermilk becomes the glue, and then you've got one which is the flour mixed with a little bit of water to makes a batter. So you're looking at two different things here. You're looking at the egg wash as your glue, and then you're looking at the breading. You can use whatever breading you want in all three of these. You can change it up. There we go. But your breading can be the same for all three types of recipes you do, or you can change it up and do different breadings or however you want to do it. I know for one of the future videos I'm going to use House Autry pre-made chicken breading instead of doing this to show you can go that way. Like I said, there's several ways to do this. I'm going to get these eggs cracked. I'm not sure how many I'll need, so 3 is going to be plenty, if not a little overkill. If you want, you can dash some hot sauce in the eggs. I'm not going to do that in this video. I'll do the hot sauce when I do the buttermilk one, just to show you that you can. But I'm not crazy. Well, I'm crazy, but whoa, yeah. Mom, I got a double yolk. Egg and a little bit of water, and give that a whisk. Now I'm gonna get my oil up the top, and then we're gonna start battering and start frying. So I'll be back in just a moment. Oil is up to 343 in the middle, 339 at the edge, close enough. Somewhere between 325 and quiet. Somewhere between 325 and 350 is where you want it. I'm going to start with the bigger pieces. I'm going to go in with the thigh. Oh, that's a breast. That's a thigh. So I'm going to go in with the egg wash. And let that drip off. 2 hands, one in the egg, and when I put it over here, I'm going to use my other hand. That way you keep from getting club fist. I mean, you're still going to get club fist on one hand, but it keeps you from getting club fist on 2 hands. Alright, if you wanted an extra thick coating on it, what you would do is you would take this back into the egg wash and then into the flour. We're not doing that. Drop it in the flour, you want to lay it away from you so it doesn't splash on you. I go skin side down at first.
Yeah, I need a cigarette. I need one.
Recording here. And 2. Same thing, skin side down, lay it away from me. And then I'm going to the breast. I'm just going to do the same thing and get those in, and we'll be back when it gets closer. I'll flip them and just keep turning to make sure it doesn't get too brown. I'll temp them up to, they have to be at least 160. If it starts getting too dark, which I expect it will, I'll pull them out, and I've got the oven on at 200 degrees. And you can put them in a 200 degree oven and hold the first batch while you're cooking the second batch. So if your first batch isn't quite cooked through all the way, it'll cook in the oven. So I'm going that oil in the fryer. You can do whatever oil you want. Today we're using a mixture of shortening, vegetable shortening, and vegetable oil because that's what we had. We went shopping at Aldi's today, and I was going to get some peanut oil, but they didn't have any peanut oil. So peanut oil, vegetable shortening. At home, I would probably use lard. Lard is fantastic for deep frying, and it lasts longer. Very crisp food out of lard. Don't let people fool you. Peanut oil is fantastic. Canola oil, just any kind of clean oil. I don't think I would use sunflower or safflower oil. Definitely don't want to do an olive oil, but those are your choices for your oil. 325 to 350 degrees, and that's where we're starting. First piece of chicken is getting close to 160. I know it's going to cook a little more in the oven. Well, I'm waiting for the rest of the pieces, so I'm going to pull it now. Oven is at 200 degrees. The other one is still a little bit behind, so we're going to go ahead and put that in that oven. And
the rack won't fit.
Oh. Okay, we'll figure that out in a second now. But while in the meantime, now when you're taking food out of a pan, you don't want to take all the food out before you put more food in. If you do it in batches, when you get one piece out, you want to put more chicken back in. That would keep the oil at a consistent temperature. Otherwise, while you're getting all the food out, the temperature can spike, and then you start with putting food into oil that's too hot. So now that I got the one piece out, go ahead and flour up a couple of drumsticks and get those in. And then we'll figure out a way to put the oven. You want the chicken on a rack of some sort. You don't want it sitting right flat on a pan, otherwise it will steam up and it'll make the crust that you just worked so hard at frying to get crisp, it'll make it all soggy. So you do want to get it up off the pan somehow, so we'll have to figure something out. But we're going to get this in, we'll figure that out, and we'll be back when all the chicken's out. Take a look at it and get a taste. Here we go. Chicken's out of the oven. I had it in there at 200 degrees, just holding. It kept it fairly crisp around the edges. You saw the close-up of the plate. Grab me one of these drumsticks, still pretty hot.
Got it? Yeah.
Still crunchy, cooked through.
When you're in.
This is a young chicken. It could have, they could use the marinade. The young chickens is a smaller one, and they're not big on chicken flavor. So next time I'll probably marinate the next one. But as far as the process goes, that was it. That's fried chicken. Okay, so that's the first part one of the 7 essentials. Number 1, fried chicken. We'll do number 2 next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the buttermilk soaked with the butter, the batter, or the breading, the dusting, or if I'm going to do the actual breading liquid one. But both those will be coming up, and then we'll have one more, the mashed potatoes one. We got to finish up that one, and we'll have the 27 essentials done. And then I got to find a southerner to come over, and I'm going to cook for them and see what they think. Probably do some fried chicken, maybe some fish, who knows. But this is the first one done. I'm going to get the second one going next week, and we'll see you then. Please watch the next one. Please watch all 3 of these and tell me which one is your favorite. If you like the way that this one is done, make sure you comment down below what seasonings you put in yours. If you put the hot sauce in the egg wash, if you double dip yours, let me know. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode.